Hi, this is Senator Bernie Sanders, and I strongly recommend that you watch excellent TV, and that is Yellow Jacket TV.
Good afternoon and hello Milton High School. I'm Liam J. Gibbons and I will be your guide through this journey through the arts, culture, and society.
And I am also your
In
host.
this episode, we have an exclusive interview with U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders. We also have an insider access on the drama department's production of Beowulf.
You done? All right. Also, we'll be talking to Milton student Victoria Lorenz, who spoke at Hazen Union High School back in January, and the highly anticipated Spring Sports Roundtable.
I have an equestrian for you, Luke. How do you feel about the school budget? It was a proposed 8% increase, and it failed to pass.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Liam. After the initial failure to pass the budget, a new plan is in the works that proposes a 4% budget increase instead of the originally proposed 8% budget increase. To cut that initial proposal in half, past money-saving ideas such as cutting up to 5 classroom teachers as well as other crucial programming has been put back on the table. This course of action, though, would effectively reverse any gains made by students in recent years. It has been speculated the voters were hesitant to pass the proposed school budget due to the money it would add to their taxes. But, interestingly enough, the original 8% increase proposal would only cost the average taxpayer an additional $229.50 a year, or $19.13 a month, which equates out to approximately 9 Dunkin' Donuts hot coffees a month, another thing that costs more than passing the initial school budget proposal, 5 Big Macs a month, or a large pizza and a soda at Zachary's Pizzas. Today's youth is often criticized as being too focused on unimportant things. But what example are we to follow when the generations ahead of us essentially value 9 coffees, or 5 Big Macs, or a large pizza more than our education?
Wow, Luke, that's a very high horse. In other news, the Department of Justice recently released the report on the town of Ferguson, Missouri's police department, which revealed that the police oftentimes used, to quote, unlawful bias. The town's population consists of 67% African Americans, while 92% of police searches and 86% of car stops involved Black Americans in the year 2013.
While 483 black people were arrested that year, only 36 Caucasians were. Another stat from the town is that police would mostly stop black citizens when, statistically speaking, white people were more likely to carry contraband.
Now, countless 24-hour news anchors and relatives on Facebook would claim this to be some sort of isolated incident, or rather thousands of isolated incidents clumped together to create one big isolated incident in one backwards town. That's not true. A recent experiment by the University of Chicago sent out similar resumes to a few hundred institutions across the country, the only difference being the names on the resumes. Half were white-sounding names like Emily or Brendan, and the other half black-sounding names like Jamal or Lakeisha. The study found that white names were 50% more likely to be called in for an interview than the black names, even though the resumes were similar. We're not living in a post-racial America, and because of this issue, there needs to be an open dialogue about race in America. Now, one recent campaign to start up a dialogue was the Starbucks Race Together campaign. It encouraged patrons of the store to strike up conversation with their baristas about race in America. However, it has been highly criticized because it seems as though it trivializes the issue, and it also is a bad business idea. Yes, I'll have a venti macchiato with a swirl of white guilt, please.
Well, that's a very complicated issue that needs to be handled with sensitivity and understanding.
I agree. In lighter news, Milton recently celebrated Pie Day. There were pie-themed activities, Jeopardy, and of course a pie-eating contest. In national news, Senator Ted Cruz recently announced his campaign for presidency, the first in the nation. Speaking of politics, our very own Kyle and Phil had an exclusive interview with U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders. Sanders has led a campaign as a fighter for the lower and middle classes and an opponent of big money in politics. He's truly one of the mavericks in our modern society. And with our once-in-a-lifetime chance, Phil and Kyle asked him about kangaroos. Take it away, guys.
So what things have you passed? I saw you did something out of State of the Union.
Yeah, I was a music journalist. I was writing for an online music journal, interviewed Bob Dylan and all these huge artists, and nobody knew about it. It was just a side conversation, and I heard about it, and one of the kids set up the interview.
All right, is this the famous Milton High School press corps?
Nice to meet you.
Guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. You guys look much slower than I am. All right.
I think it does raise.
Does this go on?
Hello, I'm Philip Patry,
And I'm Kyle Massey.
and today we are interviewing the esteemed U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders.
We will be discussing.
Esteemed. I don't know if that's the case, but I appreciate it.
We'll be discussing political activism and issues facing young adults. How were you involved with politics in the community as a young adult? As a follow-up, did your views develop over years, and why?
Great question. You know, when I was a kid in high school, there were things like that I didn't like. I didn't like older kids picking on younger kids, or people, picking on people who couldn't defend themselves. I kind of gravitated to defending underdogs. But I really didn't get much of a political education until I went to college. And mostly at the University of Chicago, I learned a great deal about civil rights. During the 1960s, my generation was heavily involved in the civil rights movement. We fought against segregation in Chicago, and we worked with other young people in the South who were then fighting against segregation in the South. And that kind of helped develop the political views that I have today. But the point being, let me just say this. I'm glad you asked that question, because there are a lot of kids your age who do not think that politics is relevant to their lives. And please tell them from me that they are very, very wrong. You have a lot more power than you think. I would learn who my state representative is. I would learn about the school board. I would drop in and go to school board meetings. I would ask to testify. You know, Vermont, things are pretty democratic. You go in there, get your name on the list. You can speak up and say, look, this is what's good, this is what's not good, this is how I think we can improve our system. You can invite your local legislators, state senators, members of the House to come and chat with you. I've been to Milton High School over the years, not recently, but on a couple of occasions. Invite the congressional delegation. I think if they have the time, would love to do it. And then start asking us the hard questions. You are citizens of the state of Vermont. You may not be voting now, I don't know. But you are citizens, and my job is to represent you. And you have to tell me what you think needs to be done and hear what I have to say.
As you've mentioned before, you've done civil rights marches and you've been a part of perhaps the largest social movement of the 20th century. And every generation has the opportunity to create change. What is the biggest change you want to see in our next generation?
Okay, great question. In my generation, the fight was to say that in America, it is not acceptable that we had African Americans who couldn't use water fountains, couldn't go to white schools, couldn't go into restaurants, couldn't vote. Could not vote in the United States of America. I would say that the issue of your generation, in my own opinion, is what kind of planet you want to inhabit it, you want your children and grandchildren to inhabit. In my view, the scientific community is very clear that climate change is real. It is caused by human activity, and it is already causing devastating problems which will only get worse in years to come. So if you want to live in a planet where, in a state like Vermont, beautiful state, we can enjoy 4 seasons, where the climate is not the same as it is in Georgia, by the way, which is what is being projected by the end of the century, you have got to join, I think, the international movement, which is trying to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel. That, to my mind, is the issue of your generation.
Mm-hmm.
Senator Sanders, what is your favorite type of kangaroo?
One that has a pouch and one that jumps around a lot. That's my favorite. A jumpy kangaroo with a pouch.
Since Teddy Roosevelt, there hasn't been a lot of facial hair in office. Do you believe we should change that? Do you think there should be more facial hair in office?
That's a profound question. And I gather that you are thinking of running for President of the United States. And your slogan will be, it's time for facial hair in the White House. Well, you know what? I think that's a winning slogan.
Now
I
we've
think
got
you can do
connections.
We have the support of Bernie Sanders.
it. On your way.
So, as we said before, I'm Philip Patry,
And I'm Kyle Massey.
and
You
you are?
guys did a great job. Thank you for allowing me to be on your show.
Of course, of course.
Thank you very much, Bernie Sanders, for letting us come to your office and interview you.
All right. Signing off.
In preparation for this year's spring sports season, I sat down with some senior athletes from each sport in the spring edition of the Sports Roundtable.
You know, Luke, I actually recently came up with my own sport. You see, it's this big arena, sort of like a Roman Colosseum, and there are 2 different teams made up of varying numbers, and they each have clubs, right?
Okay, let's get to the roundtable. Welcome to the Spring Sports Roundtable. This episode, I'm joined by the athletic director, Michael Jabor, baseball player, Tyler Skinner, softball player, Kara Donaldson, track and field participant, Alex Lozon, and lacrosse player, Hunter Goodwin.
Sure.
Are there any key returning players you'd like to mention for the baseball team?
There is definitely Cole Riley. He's definitely going to be a huge key return player. So is Tyler Lamphere and Logan Abel and Josh Hetcher. Pretty much.
Is there somebody else you might be forgetting, like maybe another senior?
I don't think so.
Are you,
Yourself.
Are you sure?
I'm also a senior this year.
Talk about yourself.
Jesse Agan. He's going to be a great return. But I think that's it.
No other baseball players you can think of? I mean, not a single one.
No key returners I can think of.
All right.
Key ones.
Moving on then. So Alex, you do track and field. What events do you participate in?
I run the 800, the 1600, and the 3200.
Nice. Do you feel like running cross country in the fall helps you with those longer events?
Most definitely.
Nice. So Tyler, this year the baseball team has got new uniforms. You could see them scattered around behind us. What are your thoughts on those?
I'm impressed. Definitely not what I was expecting. I like blue. A lot better than the gray, greenish gray. You know, I don't know what to call it. But.
And Kara, with the senior loaded softball team, what are your expectations for the season?
It's going to be really good because we've all played together for a really long time. We all know pretty much who's going to be where, positions are going to be set, and we work really well together, so it should be a good season.
And speaking of playing with each other for a very long time, Tyler, could you talk about how we've all been on the same baseball team since Little League, and through better and worse times, you know, we stuck together?
We've been through some great times and some not so great times. Like 4 years All-Stars we played together, capped off by one great year at the ending. A walk-up home run was given up, but I won't say names just to not hurt anyone's feelings out there.
Wait, Luke plays baseball?
Luke does play baseball.
Oh, I did not know that.
So you'll see him. He'll be out there.
I'm going to end with the same question we ended the Winter Sports Roundtable with. What is your favorite team to beat? We'll start with you, Hunter.
I hate Rice. I really want to beat Rice. Should we cut that out? Is that bad?
Should we rephrase that?
Strongly dislike.
Strongly dislike?
So, Hunter, let's start with you. What's your favorite team to beat in lacrosse?
Probably Rice.
Any reason behind that?
Just strongly dislike them.
Alec, but is there a team that you like, seeing your name above?
Most definitely. It's easily South Burlington every single time.
All right. And Kara, what's your favorite team to beat in softball?
I would say Colchester because we've always been pretty even playing fields with them, but we've always had really close games.
For baseball?
I have to say Rice as well, because as every year it's always a close, hard game, and last year we won, but
oh yeah. And Mike, you don't play a spring sport here, but what's the team you want to see one of our teams beat?
I'm gonna go with Rice. I would like to see us beat Rice. Yeah.
In all sports, get the sweep.
Get to sleep. Sleep. I said sleep.
No.
Clean sweep.
Now I have a question. Is there something on the table for our athletes if we get the clean sweep of Rice?
Something on the table?
Yes.
Yeah, you get a
like
nice
pizza.
pat. No, you get a nice pat on the back from me.
I mean, better than nothing. And that'll do it for our Spring Sports Roundtable. I'm your host, Luke Covey. It's been great. Back to you, Luke Covey, at the desk. Usually this is the time segment where we show the weather with Ray. But as you saw last episode, Raymond suffered a severe accident.
A brush with death, some would say.
Ever since the accident, we haven't seen nor heard from Ray. And if you see him, please let him know that somebody spilled some coffee in the media lab and we need him to pick it up.
Also tell him that while antiperspirant is difficult to apply, it is necessary in order to function in everyday life.
And also tell him that when people get heated, sometimes they say things that they don't mean.
Now, Milton's own Victoria Lorenz spoke at Hazen Union High School in late January about the power of language and how it's often abused in regards to a word many of us still use.
My final project in Ms. Carpenter's class for AP English, I created a TED Talk on anti-bullying and not using the R word, which is the word retard. It was 8.5 minutes long, and the link was posted on YouTube for 2 weeks. Now, it was taken down to put on the school's private YouTube account, but if you had the link, you could still view it. A bunch of people started viewing it and watching it, and it got over 200 or 300 views, which doesn't seem like a lot, but for a high schooler with a little presentation, it was a lot for me. And one day I got a call from the principal of Hazen Union High School asking if I could turn my 8.5 minute presentation into a 30-minute presentation and perform it 3 times in one day to the 7th grade, the 8th grade, and the entire high school. And it was a really big honor for me. I had a lot of fun doing it, and it's just something I didn't expect, especially at my age of being 18 years old, to be kind of a public speaker and a voice for those who are afraid to speak out against bullying and this unfortunate word that has been used so derogatorily towards people, and it's just such an honor to be able to do this, and I really hope I can keep doing it for years to come. And now I saw the look on some of your faces when I called you the R word. Didn't seem like you liked it. How you feel right now is how other people feel when you use that word. You call them that word. It hurts. It's offensive. It's unnecessary. And it's just not true all the time.
And we'll roll you, chariots along, we'll roll you, chariots along, we'll roll you, chariots along, and we'll all hang on behind.
I started doing one acts my sophomore year, and it was because my freshman year I had like considered doing one act in drama, but I was kind of like, oh no, because what if I go on stage and I look stupid or I'm not good at it or something, and people judge me. And because that's what freshmen do, and that was really stupid. And then I was in an art history class with Miss Carlson, and I had a bunch of the seniors who did drama in it, and I was like, whoa, these people are all really, really cool and really fun and really interesting. And I wanted to be that, and then like I saw them perform, it was Midsummer Night's Dream that year, right? Something, I think it was Midsummer Night's Dream, and it was really good. And I watched it and I was like, whoa, I messed up. I should be up there too, because now I'm never gonna get the chance to meet those people. And so I wanted to go do drama so that I could meet those people and not miss out again.
I'm Aaron Santini. I run the curtain for tech, and I enjoy it because we're one big family and everyone is accepting of everyone, and it's a lot of fun.
This year, right now I feel pretty good about it. Like if you had asked me a couple weeks ago, I would have been like, you know, but now I feel really good about it. And I'm proud that we've come this far and that we have something that we can be proud of.
Rock on. I am Beowulf, the news of Brendel, Archwigor reaches me at home. I have battled and bound 5 beasts, raided a troll nest, and in the night scene slaughtered me.